Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back. Do you have to read the entire book to show up for the book club? That's the question. The answer, though, may surprise you.
I've always wondered about that. It's a little bit of
slacker.
stress. Yeah, you're a slacker. Author and English professor and all-around great gal Carole Barrowman's back to talk about book club etiquette, and she's got her spring book club picks too. So if guys out there, your first etiquette tip is don't shake other guys' hands in the bathroom.
Yeah, or stand guard and make sure you hear the water running before they leave.
Seriously.
Right? I know. Although I remember, I also just have one son, and he used to say there was a rule where the guy always goes to the end, and when you go in for a urinal, you go to the last one.
Yeah, don't stand by each other.
Stand by each other.
That's a good point.
Would be
There's a lot of
rule.
rules.
Yes.
Let's talk about one of the rules that applies to a book club is the no obligation rule.
Way to go.
No obligation rule.
What is that?
I'm not a purist with book clubs. I think that one of the reasons you want to have a book club is to talk and chat with friends who also like books, just sort of the general atmosphere. So if you haven't finished the book, still come to the book club. You can participate in the conversation. If nothing else, you can ask a question about, something that maybe you want to know what might happen, and watch the movie if there's a movie. I have no problems with that.
I was going to say, because I've always wanted to be in a book club, but I feel like I'd be the slacker that just never gets the book read. And so if is it okay? It'd be me.
There's always one, and it's perfectly okay, and don't worry about it.
Can you do Cliff Notes? Is that okay?
Cliff Notes work if it's a classic book, but you know what? If it's something contemporary, there aren't going to be any Cliff Notes, and so you don't have to. Just come to the book club and be part of the smart conversation. That's good enough.
What do you say about the length of a book? Does size matter?
Size matters. That should have been our transition from the last conversation. Size matters. Small is good. Because who wants to read, Anna Karenina in a month? It's huge. It's massive, and you don't want to do that. So pick a shorter book that is, and my third point is that's got a big question involved in it. Something big and meaty that you can pose a question, and it gets everybody engaged right away. For example, one of the books, if you knew you weren't going to get caught, and you really weren't going to get caught, what would you do? What law would you break?
Well, that's a fun question. We should do it for a sound off someday.
Yeah, that's good.
And it's sort of related to something really not good that one of the characters does at the very beginning of my first book choice. And so, that kind of question. And my final point is about a good book club is have a moderator.
Yeah.
I love this tip. I'll give a short example. But why do you suggest that?
I think that the moderator, if that person has helped pick the book, it keeps the conversation going. It gets the conversation started.
So you can switch it up per book?
Switch it up per book. And then there's also kind of a little bit of an investment. If I pick the book at the book club, I'm going to be a little more invested in making sure I'm at least going to read it.
Yeah, right.
One of the best things I ever did, both of my girls, I don't know why I didn't do it for my son, but both of my girls, I did starting very young for a couple of years of book club where they'd meet once a month or, around the holidays, we'd take a break, whatever. But we'd always have a moderator, in part because there were a couple of girls who were sort of the know-it-alls in the group. And to keep them sort of under wraps, you make one kid, or you could make it an adult, kind of the moderator, so the kid who talks too much or the adult who talks too much and knows it all and wants to talk all the time, you keep it in check.
That's actually a really good reason to have a moderator, is because there's always somebody there's somebody who's like whispering all the time and annoying everybody else. You may love them, they may be your best friend, but that's a perfect reason.
Okay, so before we get into your list of books that are good for the book club, inviting an author, how often does this turn out successful? I would never think to do it.
You would be so surprised how many authors love to come to book clubs. To sell 6 or 10 books in one shot like that is a treat, really. And especially if you're
Does it have to be a more local author, though?
That helps. Like I go to a lot of book clubs around here. I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do, and I don't think I'm untypical. I think most writers like to talk to their readers, but I've Skyped into book clubs in Washington. I've Skyped into book clubs in Kansas City. And it's fabulous. It's a really nice, the technology makes it really easy, and just get in touch with the writer or the author early enough so you can do that. The other thing is send them some questions. Even if they can't Skype into you, they would be happy to answer some questions for you.
What a great idea.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to ask.
No, I mean, Stephen King is probably not going to come to our book club.
You never know.
Do you want him to? You don't know what's going to happen.
But John Green, right when he was doing some of his very big books before they got turned into films, he was great at going to book clubs via phone calls or Skype.
That's so cool.
Great idea.
The Nest.
The Nest. This is my first pick. This is a great book. The Nest stands.
And these are all good for book clubs?
These are perfect for book clubs, but they sort of, I think at this point in your book club, you're kind of maybe running out of ideas. So this one is about a nest egg, and the brother at the beginning blows everybody's inheritance, and so it jumps ahead a little bit, and the family's trying to figure out how do they get the brother to pay them back for the money that he has taken from them. It's a comic novel, so it's dark and funny, but it's a family saga. The family's totally dysfunctional, but we all are in some way. It's a great book. I love it. And I think it's a debut novel, and so, of course, I'm hating her for it because it's almost perfect.
That's cool.
It's a great book.
Okay, yeah. There's a good one. The Two-Family House.
The Two-Family House, and I think I'm going to give this one away, and I'm going to give my author review copy away for this one.
Good.
Yep. Takes place in the 50s, and this one is about two sisters. They have babies at the same time during a very dangerous blizzard snowstorm, and some things happen, and we follow the story of these two sisters and their friendship and love and lost. It would be an awesome book club.
I like it.
Very good.
Miller's Valley.
Anna Quindlen. She used to be a journalist with the New York Times.
Yes.
Had a column for years. I will read anything she writes. She's sort of a woman after my own heart, of a certain age. Kids are grown. And it's a great book. A family farm. The government wants to buy all the land to make a dam and flood the whole area. Only one person in the family won't sell, and it's sort of the dynamics and the drama of should they, shouldn't they. It's another family saga, which I think are really good for book clubs because they allow you to connect and say, that's just like my brother, or that's just like my sister.
You see your family in them. We're out of time, but I'm With the Band is the last one by Pamela Des.
I picked this one for you. It's a bad girl book.
Ooh, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I'm not a bad girl.
You're a bad girl.
Prove it.
It's also later. It's also nonfiction, and I know how you like to read a lot of nonfiction. So this is my nonfiction pick.
Love it.
This woman used to be a groupie for a lot of bands in the 70s and 80s. It's a fun read. You'd have a really.
She hooked up with Mick Jagger.
Hooked up with Mick Jagger. All those guys.
And
Jimmy Page.
Jim Morrison.
Jim Morrison.
Okay.
Yeah, she's got a lot of cool stories. It's not an R-rated read, but it's close. But it's really
titillating.
Fun. Titillating with some wine. That should be my next response for book club. Pick a titillating
Something
book.
about that word, right?
Titillating.
I love it.
Me. CaroleBarrowman.com. That's where you can follow along Facebook, Twitter, and Goodread as well. And a giveaway, as she promised. The Two-Family House giving away. Caller number 7 is going to win a copy at 414-799-4444. Good luck in dialing. Thanks, Carol.
You're welcome.
So awesome. Thank you so much.
Girl.